Welcome to our virtual Hill Day Issues Briefing. My name is Josh Cooper, and I'm Vice President of Government Relations for the ACR, and I will be narrating this year's briefing. I am obligated to inform you of any financial disclosures I may have related to this presentation. As usual, I have nothing to disclose. During today's briefing, I will be discussing the following: our virtual meeting information, congressional dynamics, Hill Day materials, and an overview of the issues for this year's Hill Day. As all attendees should be aware by now, our virtual Hill Day meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 19th. By now, all attendees should have received an email from the meeting vendor, Advocacy Associates. Within that email, Advocacy Associates should have shared a video with virtual meeting details as well as meeting tips. We also invite you to visit the ACR's annual meeting website for additional background materials on the issues. Before we delve into the issues a little bit deeper, I thought it might not be a bad idea to highlight some of the congressional dynamics that are occurring during the first session of the 117th Congress. As you can see with regard to the slide, and I'm sure that you all have been following, a slim Democratic majority in both the House and the Senate, a Congress that is still reeling from a divisive election, and a Congress and White House still striving to achieve bipartisanship has made achievement of major legislative initiatives difficult. Attendees should also be aware when conducting these meetings that some members of Congress and their staff may display signs of healthcare issues fatigue. This is understandable given the last year, but members and staff certainly realize these issues must continue to be dealt with. Attendees should be aware that there are Hill Day materials available on the ACR website, and as you can see by the slide, if you were to click on the ACR annual meeting site and scroll down to the Virtual Capitol Hill Day Issues tab, you should be able to find what we refer to as the Issue 1 pagers. This year's issues include mitigating Medicare physician payment cuts, proposed technical corrections to the Protecting Access to Medicare Act, or PAMA, and legislation that would protect frontline healthcare professionals from associated on-the-job mental stress. We have also included an attendee favorite, the cheat sheet, which should help you organize your thoughts a little more during the meeting and give you a point-by-point guide for your discussions. We have also provided another document that references questions you may be asked with regard to the list of issues that we have asked you to discuss. Lastly, we have included a document that lists other issues you may be asked about and provided responses to those potential questions. The first of the issues we will be discussing relates to mitigating Medicare physician payment cuts. As all of you know, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed many weaknesses in the healthcare system, including weakness in the Medicare physician fee schedule reimbursement calculation process. Throughout 2020, all physicians, including radiologists, worked to reduce the effect of E&M increases and the subsequent decreases that occurred to many physician and non-physician providers. Thanks in large part to the efforts of ACR and its leadership of a coalition of over 80 physician and non-physician healthcare organizations, Congress enacted legislation that added an additional 3.75% to the Medicare conversion factor for 2021. As a result, diagnostic radiology went from a projected 10% reduction in Medicare reimbursement to a 4% reduction in Medicare reimbursement. As everyone is aware, many physicians and physician practices are still recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic, and many unknowns related to the pandemic still lie ahead. Although healthcare providers received relief in 2021 from significant Medicare reimbursement cuts, 2022 also poses potential for severe cuts. In addition to a scheduled sequester cut, as well as a reconciliation-related PAYGO cut, the 3.75% increase to the 2021 conversion factor also goes away, resulting in a third cut for 2022. Although ACR is confident that Congress will delay or rectify both the sequester and PAYGO cuts by the end of the year, we are asking ACR members to highlight the need to extend the 3.75% increase to the Medicare physician fee schedule conversion factor through 2022 in order to give lawmakers and stakeholders more time to ensure access for patients and long-term financial stability for physicians and practices. Our second issue deals with ACR efforts to try and implement the appropriate use criteria, or AUC provisions, of the PAMA Act of 2014. As a reminder, PAMA mandates that ordering physicians must consult appropriate use criteria prior to ordering advanced imaging exams. Although this law was supposed to be implemented in 2017, CMS has faced many implementation challenges, and the program is currently in an educational testing period through 2021. ACR has learned that CMS has encountered difficulties in implementing the law stemming from an inability to process Medicare claims in real time. ACR believes that by eliminating the real-time claims processing hurdle and replacing it with an annual audit and review process, CMS would finally be able to move this valuable program forward. Therefore, we are asking Congress to support our efforts to amend PAMA with these technical changes so that the AUC program can be implemented. For our third issue, we are asking that you gather co-sponsors for legislation designed to protect frontline healthcare professionals. Named in honor of Dr. Lorna Breen, who tragically died by suicide during the COVID-19 pandemic, S610 and HR 1667 seek to ensure that physicians and other healthcare providers can seek mental health treatment and services without fear of professional setback. As always, feel free to share personal anecdotes you may have encountered directly or indirectly to underscore the impact this legislation would have on your local provider community. I won't spend a lot of time on this last informational slide, except to highlight that it is always best to relate the issues you will be discussing to your local situation and how Congress's action or inaction may affect your patients and your practice. Lastly, thank you again for your attention and taking the time to review this briefing. Good luck, and please, if there are any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me at the address at the bottom of the slide. Hopefully, we can do this in person next year. Please stay safe.